In a world that's just constantly pulling you in a million directions, what if you had the power to find some inner peace no matter what chaos is happening outside? Well, the ancient Stoics had this incredible idea. The happiness of your life really depends on the quality of your thoughts. And the best part? You hold the key to mastering your own mind. So that's what we're going to dive into today, using their timeless wisdom to do exactly that.
So let me ask you something, and I mean really think about it. Does your day control you, or do you control your day? Do you ever get that feeling that you're just, I don't know, a pinball bouncing from one thing to the next? Like the second that alarm goes off, boom, you're sucked into this whirlwind of notifications, emails, and what feels like everybody else's emergencies.
Well, what if I told you there's a tool for that? And no, this isn't some boring history lesson. We're talking about taking this ancient wisdom and using it as a super practical, almost revolutionary tool for right now, for the 21st century. It's really a way to find that calm in the middle of all the chaos, to find some purpose when things feel, well, boring, and to build the kind of resilience that lets you actually truly master your day.
All right, let's get into it. Here's our game plan. First, we're going to figure out our why, our Stoic purpose. Then we'll design the actual morning routine, the how. And finally, we'll talk about how to make it all stick. Sound good? Let's go. Okay, first things first, purpose. The Stoics were big on this idea that our main job in life is to live with intention. So before we even think about building a new morning routine, we've got to ask ourselves the big question. Why are we even getting out of bed? This is the foundation, right? It's that deep internal drive that's going to power everything else we talk about.
And a great way to think about this comes from a Japanese concept called ikigai. I love this. It basically means your reason for being. It's that thing that gets you so fired up that the snooze button just doesn't even stand a chance. The Stoics had their own version of this. They called it living according to your nature. Finding that one thing that you, and only you, are perfectly built to do.
And here's the cool part. It's not some mystical thing you have to wait for. It's actually a puzzle you can solve. Your ikigai is right there, in the sweet spot where the answers to these 4 questions overlap. What do you love? What are you good at? What does the world need? And yeah, what can you actually get paid for? When you find where those 4 circles meet, that's where the magic is.
Okay, so this next idea is a huge one in Stoicism. What if you treated every single day as if it were your last? Now, hang on, this isn't supposed to be dark or morbid, not at all. It's actually an incredible motivator. It's like a filter that just cuts through all the junk, all the trivial stuff we worry about, and it forces you to focus on what really, truly matters. The fancy Latin phrase for this is memento mori. Remember, you must die. But really, it's a call to live. When you remember that your time here is finite, suddenly all those little anxieties and petty arguments just melt away. It gives you this incredible clarity to focus on your relationships, on what you're contributing, and on making the absolute most out of the day you have, right here, right now.
All right, so we've got our why. We've found our purpose. Now let's get practical. Let's build the how. These are the actual nuts and bolts steps you can take to design a morning that fuels your purpose, instead of, sabotaging it before you've even had your coffee.
And believe it or not, a great morning actually starts the night before. Seriously, just writing down your top 3 priorities for the next day, that gets rid of all that what should I do first stress in the morning. And waking up at the same time, yeah, even on weekends, it just sets this solid rhythm for your body and your mind. And these small things, like making your bed or putting your alarm on the other side of the room, they're not just chores, they're like little wins. Making your bed is the first win of the day. It's you telling yourself, I am in control.
And really, this is the choice we all face every single morning, isn't it? On the one hand, you can have the reactive morning. The alarm goes off, you grab your phone, and bam, you're instantly flooded with other people's problems. You're on defense from the get-go. Or you can have the proactive morning. The alarm goes off, but you choose quiet. You choose purpose. You start the day on your terms. It's like filling up your tank with peace before you even hit the road. Okay, so I'm going to share a Stoic technique now that might sound, well, a little weird. It kind of goes against all that positive vibes only stuff you hear all the time, but trust me, it's a game changer. It's called negative visualization. And no, it's not about being a pessimist. It's about taking a minute in the morning to think about what could go wrong during the day. You might get stuck in traffic, a meeting might go badly, you could spill coffee all over your shirt. The point isn't to stress you out, it's to mentally prep for it. It's like training for resilience. So when little things do go wrong, you're like, okay, I've got this. And the amazing side effect?
you end up being so much more grateful for everything that is going right.
So this is the million-dollar question, right? How do we actually make this stuff stick? Because it's easy to be motivated for a day or two, but building a real, lasting habit, that's the hard part. So this part is all about the systems you need for that long-term success.
I love this quote from Marcus Aurelius. Be tolerant with others and strict with yourself. But we can adapt that a bit here for self-compassion. Look, when you're trying to build a new habit, you're going to mess up. You're going to have days where you hit snooze or grab your phone first thing. It's going to happen. And that is perfectly okay. The goal here isn't perfection. The real test is what you do after you slip up.
The absolute worst thing you can do is beat yourself up about it. That whole spiral of guilt, it doesn't help anyone. The Stoic way is way more practical. You just acknowledge it, oops, messed up today, forgive yourself, and move on. Tomorrow is a brand new day, a fresh start. And let me tell you, that kind of patience with yourself, that is a legit superpower.
You know, the Stoics knew that we don't do anything important alone. And this is the modern-day version of that. Find an accountability partner. Seriously, just telling one trusted person what you're trying to do completely changes the game. It stops being this lonely battle and turns into a team sport. They're there to cheer you on, but also to give you that little nudge when you need it.
And here's a really powerful way to close out your day. Before you go to bed, just take 2 minutes, that's it, and write down 3 things you're grateful for. This isn't just fluffy stuff. This simple action actually rewires your brain. It forces you to stop focusing on what's missing and instead see the abundance that's already there. It's the perfect way to set yourself up for a good night's sleep and an even better morning.
Okay, let's pull all these pieces together. Because this was never just about having a better morning, right? It's about using your morning to build a better, more intentional life. So here it is, your complete Stoic morning checklist.
So here's the whole toolkit. You've got your big why, finding your ikigai. You've got your practical hows, like preparing the night before and practicing those small disciplines. And you've got the mental tools, like remembering your mortality to create urgency and practicing negative visualization to build resilience. Each one of these is a step on the path to a more deliberate and honestly, a more fulfilling life.
And in the end, it really all boils down to this one powerful idea from Marcus Aurelius. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Just let that sink in. It means you have the power. You can change your entire life just by changing your mind. And that huge transformation, it can start as small as the very first thought you choose to have tomorrow morning.
So I'll leave you with this final thought. Forget about tomorrow morning for a second. Let's talk about right now. If this were your last day, would you be proud of how you're choosing to spend it? How are you going to live the rest of today with purpose? Because the choice, as the Stoics taught us, is always, always yours.